Christmas to you, I should say. How about that?
Why not? Sure.
I mean Christmas for this year. All right, namaste, guys. I want to begin tonight's program by telling all of you how Exxon plucking Guyana chicken, burying the feathers at we dump site, and the guts is what the Guyanese people have to settle with. Hear that, Josh?
Yes, sir.
You settling for anything like that?
No.
Well, the skullduggery, the cheating, the scampishness, the underhand dealings with our resources is happening so fast by the seconds that a few of us in the media will never be able to catch up and report them all to you. As fast as we report 1, 2, 3, 10, 50, 70, 100 happening. It's the most frightening era Glenn as a citizen and a media operative is living under, Joshua. Even if a day were to change to 1,024 hours, it will not be enough to report what's happening in this land. It's too much, Josh. Corruption is like a disease eating away at the foundation of people's faith in government and destabilizing the world. Those are the words of Mahatma Gandhi. Before I get to the main issue tonight, Uncle and Auntie, let me tell you about the countrywide protests across 4 African countries that happened today with a total shutdown. The people are fed up, upset and very angry with their corrupt leaders in government. Kenya, Nigeria, Tunisia, and South Africa all went on massive countrywide protests calling for the resignation and prosecutions of their leaders for the corrupt acts they have committed by selling out the people's patrimony. Yes, the people's resources to their friends, families, cronies, and more so, the foreigners that leaving the mass of the populations fighting to obtain a meal when the day comes. What we are all witnessing today throughout Africa on social media, TV, and radio, been happening for decades and centuries, Uncle. The difference today is that with technology, yes, that word technology, the people are seeing live and direct in real time what's going on. Their eyes are opening and now they're standing up and speaking out one by one, thousands by thousands, millions upon millions. Gone are the days when corrupt politicians can receive underhand payments in foreign bank accounts to sell out the people's resources, leaving them and their children hungry and believe life will go on as normal. It's coming to an end. That's why I keep saying I am so much in love with today's technology. I think I love today's technology, more than my family's. Josh, put up some of the protest photos and footage for the online viewers, please. Let them see what transpired today throughout Africa. A hungry man, Bernard. Thank you. Namaste, Bernard. Namaste. A hungry man is an angry man. And that's what's going on in Africa today, where the starving Africans can't take it anymore. Jacob Zuma of South Africa, yes, I should say president or former president, Jacob Zuma of South Africa, was kicked out the other day and is before the courts for selling out the people's wealth for he and his family gains. The man that take over, Cyril Ramaphosa, no different. He get catch as soon as he take over with millions of American dollars stashed in his sofa. And when questioned, he say he sell cow at the Pala Pala farm. We got some politicians in this country, Bernard. They must have got Walla Walla farm. We stash away millions of US dollars too. Uncle and auntie, this president even went to the South African court, African High Court, and got an injunction stopping the parliamentarians from talking about the money found stashed in his sofa at the Pala Pala farm. In Guyana, Mansour Nadir, the Speaker of our Parliament, already banned any discussion, any talking about corruption in our Parliament in Guyana. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, or keep it behind your head as we go along tonight. Over 3 million citizens protested in South Africa today. Over 1 million protested in Tunisia. Over 2 million protested in Nigeria. In Kenya, millions turned out to protest too. All of them protesting the high cost of living, blackouts, stink water, bad roads, corruption, and their wealth. Yes, I love it. And the protests in Kenya will continue every Monday until justice is done. Until people begin to live a life that matches their resources, Uncle. I love it, man. I love it. In South Africa, it's the same thing. The leader of the protest today says, now the protests begin in South Africa. I guess it's the same thing will happen. They didn't mention it in the other 2 African countries. I am waiting to see when this whole country will get out into the streets to protest for a life that matches their resources, their riches, their wealth. Or if you guys will rule over and take what y'all get in. The guts out of your own plucked chicken. What happened in Africa today is a result of what the leaders did to those countries that pushed the citizens to a breaking point, to the edge where they can't take it anymore, Bernard. Can't take it. Glenlal can't take it, what's happening in this land. You oil blocks disappear, Uncle. Your gold, diamond, timber, bauxite, and manganese fields disappearing. And yet we don't hear or know what is going on. Who they in we country, what they're doing, what they're carrying away, and what we are getting from all these resources. We know nothing. Everything is being kept in the dark by our leaders with underhand dealings that give foreigners the power to do what they want in our country with no protests. Oh my, wow. Uncle, the power Exxon and their partners were granted with that 2016 oil contract is what gives them so much leeway that they can take out how much they want, spend it however they want, and wherever they want before half and half is share as profit. Man, Trotman give away, or I should say give Exxon a field day with our oil. And President Ali, nor Vice President Jagdeo not blinking an eye. Yes, not blinking an eye over that. Remember last week, I told you guys the contract is worded so vaguely and so tricky that they can pluck Guyana's chicken, take all the meat, throw away the feathers, and give the Guyanese people the guts to survive on. Bernard, that is how they worded that contract and give Trotman to sign. I will put the agreement, that contract, in the comment sections for you to read, and read it for yourselves as to what I am going to talk about. And I want to break it down very simply. Very, very simply. For you people to understand clearly what we bind ourselves. Yes. What we bind ourselves to into this country. In this country. You want to build a shop, uncle? Listen to me carefully, man. You want to build a shop in front of your house with your neighbor to do a half and half business. He is a contractor. So you agree he will do the construction, and when the business starts running, he can get paid for whatever he spent. He give you a plan with an estimate that the shop will cost $1 million. You say you got to buy cement, sand, stone, steel, wheelbarrow, tools, plus you got to pay the workers. You say, okay, go ahead. Without checking properly the estimate the neighbor give you. So you don't know exactly how much cement, steel, or stone he plan to use. When the work is done, when he done build the shop and the shop open, he hand you the bill for $1 million. And you family now get a chance to see the cost on the things. And when you check the bills, Bernard, you realize that everything you buy ain't even cost $300,000. Right there and then the family say, neighbor, no, you robbed me $700 million. When them confront the neighbor with that, he said, man, you gotta go to court. Yes. And you have to pay Heli a fee too. And turn and tell you your daddy don't agree to that. That is the type of contract Raphael Trotman signed. And Jagdeo says it will not change. And approving more shops under those same terms and conditions, uncle. These people had good, Josh? Bernard?
Hell no.
What are they doing to y'all and this country by approving more projects like that, Bernard?
Same as Africa.
Worse than Africa. Lisa 1, 2, 3, chicken non-pluck. The meat, barbecue for Exxon and their partners. The feathers done burn out or bury at Eccles dump site. And the Guyanese is left with the guts. Jagdeo already allow the time to check those bills to expire. So that is why we now got to pay those US billions as is. And that is only the construction cost. Bernard, hear me carefully. That is only the construction cost I'm talking about. There is more expenses, which I will come to later, that they're also hiding from us. The fourth plucked chicken, time already running out on that too, to check. And if we don't check it, I have said it many times, y'all will left with the chicken guts again to feed your hungry and starving children. This is just part of the contract, Uncle, that got us where we are today. And Bharat Jagdev going and approve more and more shops under that same agreement to allow Exxon to pluck us further. Are you see what this man doing to you? And when I asked him at a press conference, he said nothing will change, and went on to tell me how I order a cleanly plucked chicken, and now I asking him about the feather from the foot and feather from the tail. That is the respect Bharat Jagdev has for our oil and our future. Leaders like that, behaving like this, is what drove those people in the streets of Africa today, demanding corrupt leaders get out the place and face the courts. Man, uncle and auntie, if I have it my way, all of them go to prison. Not before they get a fair trial, though. Man, Bernard, which decent or honest leader would see, know, and complain bitterly about a blatant sellout them said a coalition did to Guyana, and now when they get the opportunity to ensure that we don't continue holding the wrong end of the stick, today, uncle, approving more and more plucked chicken the same way, knowing that it's only the guts, the Guyanese people getting out of the chicken. You gotta be two things. Either the biggest clown or the biggest sellout of your family. You certainly can't be all two, uncle. It's one or the other. And I keep on saying on this program many times, Jagdev is not only a bright man, but a brilliant individual. Did I say South Africa shut down, Bernard? Yep. Man, every one of us should be waiting at President Ali's Vice President Jagdev doorstep or office entrance tomorrow morning, including Norton and Ramjatan, so that they don't approve any other plucked chicken this way for us. What do you say, man? 40 billion American dollars in plucked chicken gone already on those 4 projects. Building those 4 shops, uncle, in which the guts alone coming to us. Meaning the drizzle money, them saying is profits Guyana receiving now. President Ali and Jagdev telling us they will continue doing business the same way with the other 6 shops Exxon got them eye on and boasting about it. Huh? They let them own this place. I believe, uncle, let me say this clear. I believe half of that 40 billion is rip-off, which is 6 years of Guyana's budget money gone just like that. And Jagdev telling us he got to decide if we're going to see the oil companies bill or not. How you like that one, buddy?
5 times the national debt.
Huh? 6 times, man. It was only 3 point something million.
5 times the national debt.
Yes. Man, this whole country, every jackman with a dog and cats too, should already be in the streets to bring this country to a full stop. Not for a day like what happened in South Africa today, but stay in the streets until this wrong, this injustice, this sellout, this wholesale thievery of our resources is corrected and put to an end, so that we can finally get what God Almighty blessed us all with. Huh? Let's dig a little deeper, Uncle, into this one-sided, lopsided contract designed to rob all of us. Friday gone, I exposed to you how millions of US dollars of our oil is being taken out by the oil companies before profit is split to pay hefty school fees to educate their children at the American school in Guyana. And how they want to grab more millions from Guyana's oil by increasing the school fees for their children. Now, I want y'all to get this very clear, what I'm about to tell you. This is not money to build the 4 shops I'm talking about now, Uncle. This is daily expenses of running those 4 shops with the business. And when my reporter asked Vice President Jagdeo the other day when he will release the oil expenses, not to build the shops, the oil expenses, so that the nation can see what exactly the oil company is throwing at us, he told her, he have to decide whether Guyana see it or not, because the Kaieteur News does nitpick. The school fees I just mentioned is just one of the thousands of expenses he doesn't want the Guyanese people to see. Why, Bernard? Exposing this kind of information is what Jagdeo calling nitpicking by the Kaieteur News. While the oil companies doing that, with our oil, President Ali, that same Jagdeo and the rest of the politricksters running for loans all over the world to repair our schools were falling apart by the seconds. Where your kids going? What a way. What a beautiful way to sell out the people and their country. Eh, Bernard?
Yep.
You know, Bernard, I want to bet all Guyana drink Jagdeo will not release all the expenses, because if he do that, it will expose the oil companies. And he doesn't want that, because then the Guyanese people will be able to see so many things that will enrage them and drive them out into the streets. That's the reason, you know, Bernard. We will see every evil way in which they are robbing us. We will see how we oil, paying for everything for the foreigners, while we, the Guyanese owners of this wealth, are struggling just to survive. A mother gave birth to triplets over the weekend and said to the media, I don't want my kids to struggle the way I did. Auntie and uncle, reading that, I said to myself, girl, if you only know those 3 babies you bring into this world will struggle worse than you did if these tricksters, these con artists we have for politicians approve the 5th and any other project without changing the terms and conditions in that contract. Agree, Bernard?
Yes, Definitely.
Again, don't get mixed up. Let me be clear. What Glenlal is talking about here is playing the trump card we holding in our hands. Those environmental permits that Exxon is waiting for on the 5th project. Uncle, we can just hold off on approving that. Yes. And once we hold off that, man, Exxon and their partners got to agree, have to change the terms and conditions, which these monsters, yes, which Exxon and the oil players using to rip every Guyanese off one by one. That's all we got to do, Bernard. Hold back the environmental permit and bring them to their knees. That's all. We are not asking for renegotiation. So this crap about we can't do anything and we're not going to change it and we have to abide by it is bull S. Every day the Kaieteur News exposes the horrors of what is going on with our wealth, Uncle. I know that many of you can't afford to buy newspapers. And this is why I make the time every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday to simplify some of the dangers, this skullduggery going on in every sector of this land, including the oil. So that you guys can learn, Uncle, understand, and stand up to do something about it. Last week, Sunday, Kaieteur News carried a story in which we listed a set of things that the oil companies can buy and take out from our oil money without getting further approval from we government. When I saw the amount of things that Trotman agreed to behind we back, and now seeing what Jagdeo is tagging along with and agreeing to all of them in front we face, I believe the entire Caribbean should go on a shutdown, not Guyana alone, because they too are also in danger with the most horrific business deal in Guyana, that oil contract. I have never seen such a deal anywhere in my lifetime. I want to deal with some of them one by one so you get a full understanding of what I am talking about. Labor cost, Bernard, wages and salaries. We leaders agree to let them pay whatever they want and to whoever they want, any amount, and take it out from our oil before profit is shared. How you like that one? You think these people come to Guyana to work for a little bit money? These people pay themselves handsomely and then take it out from our oil. That is like your neighbor paying himself, his family, his workers, and then taking out the money from the shop business without telling you anything. And if you do question it, he tell you, prepare for go to court. That's what we sign on to. Our oil is also paying bonuses, brother. You know, when I see this thing, like I said, no, man, this is not for real. Uncle, our oil is paying bonuses, any amount, to all their workers from top to bottom. Not only for Exxon, but for all the other oil companies too. And our government is silent, not changing that. Who agreeing to things like that? Who agrees to terms and conditions like this? Which school child you know would agree to something like that? That would not only punish them, but their children too. Huh? Who approving more projects or setting up more shops like that, Bernard? Hmm? The little bonus we always get, if you do get every year end, is from the guts of the plucked chicken. The oil companies, them throwing at us. If this is not things to enrage your people, I don't know what else would enrage you. You're all ready to kill a man who snatched your little gold chain or a plastic bag with a bread inside. But you're standing up and watching the foreigners fetching away your future, which is a mansion with a pool house, 2 Lamborghinis and 2 Lexus parked in your driveway, with a fat bank account that should have already been yours. But you ain't saying a word. Every jackman quiet. How can this be? How can this ever be in our country? How much more simple? I gotta make this for you guys. Listen to some more, uncle. All the workers of all the oil companies out there can go on vacation, holidays. Man, do what I want, spend what I want, where I want, and we oil pays for that. Them can hire private jet and send us the bills. They can fly first class wherever in the world, stay at the best resorts or 7-star hotels, and just hand the bill to Guyana. The clowns will pay for it. It is taken care of as expenses from Guyana's oil, uncle, before profit is shared. Yes. If they get sick and have to get medical attention anywhere in the world, just hand the bills to Guyana. Yes. Just hand the bills to Guyana. And we oil pay the bills too. If one of them end up with a one hand or a one foot on the job, becomes disabled, man, Guyana Oil will have to pay that worker compensation for the rest of their lives. Who paying you medical bills, Miss Mortley? When you get sick? Who compensating you? If and when you get injured. And not just who, but how much? Ask yourself how much you just get if when you fall along from NIS. Man, that is the oil contract, Trotman, signed under the coalition, and now Barra Jagdeo under the PPP government, giving the oil companies, allowing their workers to receive lovely pension packages and other benefits that Guyana's oil has to foot the bill for. You hear me? Let me repeat, man. The same contract Trotman signed, Jagdeo going ahead with it, that will pay pension packages. Pension packages and other benefits to the foreigners for their lifetime that Guyana's oil has to foot the bill. What is your pension package in Guyana? Oh gosh, are you continue sleeping? Everything I said there is for the 3 oil companies that are already producing oil in the Stabroek block. Exxon, Hess Corporation, and the Chinese company called Sinok. Wow. You see how them employees are being treated?
Yep.
Man, this is the life. This is why I tell you, Guyana is heaven on earth for them. Hear more. If you're moving workers from one end of the world to bring them here, Guyana Oil pays for their personal expenses too. Not only the travel, you know. Y'all believe it, y'all here, there so far is bad, Joshua? Huh? It gets worse, Uncle. It gets worse. These people got a long list of things we oil paying for that Trotman agreed to, and now Jagdeo love it. He not changing anything. You hear that? Add up these couple expenses alone that I talked about there, and they are in the billions of US dollars. And there is more. So much more. You have the list?
Yes.
Put a list on the internet. Let it see the list of things that they can buy, they can spend, however, whenever, and how much. And Guyana Oil pay for it. The complete list is in the comment section. Oh boy, oh. Or if you don't have access to the computer, please grab a copy of last week's Sunday Kaieteur News. 2.5 pages I dedicated for you to see it. And that is what Jagdeo calls nitpicking. Exposing these things and the thousands of stories make Kaieteur News a nitpicker. So said Bharat Jagdeo. He said, don't listen to Glenn Lal and don't read the Kaieteur News. Y'all must buy and read Guyana Chronicle and the Guyana Times. Y'all must watch NCN and listen to the PPP radio stations. Them going to tell y'all how all things are bright and beautiful. Your future is secure. Have no fear. Yes, don't buy Kaieteur, don't listen to Glenn Lal. I only read them PPP aligned papers and media outlets. Joshua. Only Friday gone, Kaieteur News reported some US Congress people visited Guyana and met with the political leaders. After the meetings, our leaders telling us one thing, but the Congress people telling their people in America something else. Thank you, Miss Mortley, for the tea. Thank you. Hi, let me take a sip. Thank you, man. Hey. Congress people come to Guyana telling we one thing, but telling them American people something else. The Congress people tell the American press before they come here how Guyana's oil can uplift the lives of the Americans, and at the same time it will help to uplift the Guyanese people's lives too. The head of the delegation who spoke with the American press was right on one thing there, Joshua. Guyana's oil will uplift the lives of the American people with that deal. But, Congressman, that deal will sink the lives of the Guyanese people further into starvation. since 2019, Congressman. Billions of US dollars in oil has come out from our country already. Almost all gone out of Guyana. How many Guyanese lives have been uplifted so far? A tiny, tiny few. Benefited along the way. Yes. What about the masses in Guyana? Can the Congress people answer that question? What happened to their lives? How much billions in US dollars oil pump up already? How come the US dollar still climbing rather than dropping, Congress people? Think about that, uncle. Let me say this, Mr. Congress people, or Mistress Congress people. With the amount of US billions already pumped out of Guyana oil, the US dollar should have already been 100 to 1. Had we gotten the right package? And in a couple of years, the Guyana dollar should be equal, 1 to 1 with the US dollar. That's a question not only President Ali should answer, but the Congress people should answer too. How come the Guyana dollar still sits for years now at 215, 216, and 217 for one? Guys, let me say this. Everything is skyrocketing in this land, all because of the US dollar. And you can't even get it right now to import what is so badly needed in this country. Uncle and auntie, y'all know why things going up every day rather than going down every day? Your oil selling for US dollar, but none coming back here. Is Guyana growing? Or Guyana going anywhere? Yes. We're going downwards rather than upwards, Congress people. Auntie, this subject deserves a whole program by itself to explain fine how everything you buy in Guyana has to do with the American dollar. Your baby milk, what you buying? Your baby Pampers, a needle, a pin, man, from rope to soap, depends on the US dollar. When it's limited, price goes up. When there's plenty, the US dollar drop, and the prices for everything goes down. We're pumping so much oil every day, and instead, US go up, it going down. I should say, instead your US go down, the US dollar going up. Is the cost of living. That same cost of living got the people in Africa in the streets right now today. I want to share a simple example. In Trinidad, TT, the TT dollar used to be 6 to 1 a few years ago. Today, them oil and gas sector dwindling. It's almost 8 to 1 and rising by the day. When Guyana oil will ever meet 6 or 8 to 1? I should say it different. Will Guyana ever meet 100 to 1 with in this country? Bernard, you think it will ever meet 100 to 1?
Not to the same deals.
Never. 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 Not with that contract.
Exactly.
I am ready to give away everything I work for in my lifetime to these tricksters for politicians anytime the US dollar meet 100 to 1 with this contract. Anytime. 100 to 1, uncle, will cut everything you purchase in the shop by half. Let's wait and see which country or which century that will ever happen in this country. We pumping oil just over 3 years now. Instead, the US dollar drop a couple cents. It increasing by the dollars. I want you all to sink this thing in your heads. If the US dollar raise $1, the price go up for everything. If it drop $1, the price go down for everything. Please don't forget that. That is what the Congress delegation tell the American people about. Guyana's oil. Now, Guyana's oil. You heard about that? That's what I say. We are going to uplift Guyana. Thank you for this tea, Miss Smartly. Oh. Now listen what the leaders here saying about your belongings, the oil. The Guyana Chronicle yesterday headline says, and I quote word for word, "You have nothing to fear. You are our trusted partner," President Ali tells U.S. congressional delegation. But I end it. You stood, no, I didn't, go ahead. You stood by us, and we gonna stand with you. That's what he basically said in the story. Now here the Guyana Times headline yesterday with a photograph. United States is a trusted, important, strategic partner to Guyana. So said President Ali. Both newspapers talked about trusted partners, and we should have no fear. Trusted partner, and we should have no fear with people who are enslaving this nation all over again with a contract. Telling us our lives will be uplifted. Yes, with a little couscous money, the few pennies we get in, the guts from the plucked chicken was sinking Guyana further with loans. Loans upon loans. Loans to build 4-lane highways. Loan to build roads and bridges for the oil companies and all the foreigners fetching out our timber, our gold with the trucks and heavy duty equipment. That is upliftment. Yes, upliftment with loans to Guyana and our backs, uncle. Auntie, I only hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Every couple morning is only loans these people talking about. And the only way a bank does give a your loan is if you got something proper. Guyana oil. Guyana oil proper for them to throw loans on us. When the oil is done, mark my words, when this oil is done, we will become worse than Asia, Africa, and Haiti put together. The foreigners have done it to many of those countries, and still to this day doing it to some of them, which created what we see happening in Africa today. That rebellion, that revolution across more than one countries at the same time. Can you believe this? Before oil start pumping, we were sitting on a $3 billion US debt, Bernard. Loan that we took and can't pay. And as the days go by in this country, our debt keep climbing. Huh? $3 billion and we debt climbing, brother. How can you be telling the world that you are the fastest growing economy on earth today, and your country got a debt of $3 billion US, can't pay it off, and borrowing more. Somebody help me here, please. How can this be in our country? Those Congress people and the US ambassador should answer that. How can this be? Then Saturday, the Guyana Chronicle front page have the Deputy Secretary General of the European Union saying, impressive growth gives Guyana opportunity to improve citizens' living standards. How this is even possible, lady? How? When 89 ships, or I should say 89 shiploads of our oil went to the oil companies and Guyana only received 13 last year. What progress you can see and get out of that? When double of that is needed to correct and fix the destruction the oil company is doing to this country at present. Help me, Secretary General. Help me to understand these massive improvements and living standards you guys are talking about. Help me. Help the Guyanese people to understand that. You got the biggest oil discovery in the world for the last 10 years. And this is the state Guyana they're in. Look at the roads at your capital city and the towns across Guyana. Look at the hospitals, the X-ray machines not working inside them. The schools not even got a proper blackboard for the teachers to write on. While your oil money paying for air conditioned, sophisticated American school in Guyana for the foreigners' children and a few Guyanese children who can afford it. What progress is that? How the citizens' lives of this country will develop? Uncle and auntie, guys, this country cannot continue like this till 2025. I am begging you people. We cannot sit back and wait for 2025. Not with the terms and conditions of that contract. 9 out of 10 oil contract, Jagdeo changed. He renegotiated them. Why not this one, Mr. Ali, Mr. Jagdeo? The one that lays the golden egg presently. By the shiploads, by the day. Why? You heard what Kaieteur News reported. You hear what the government newspapers and the government-aligned Guyana Times reported. Now hear the Stabroek News headline for the same day yesterday. They reported that at the meeting, the U.S. ambassador stressed contract sanctity needed for improvement of lives of all Guyanese. You hear that, Bernard? Contract sanctity needed for improvement of the lives of all Guyanese. Oh. You hear that, Bernard?
Yeah.
Or may I repeat it, man? This woman knows fully well that y'all they're bad. Y'all suffering. But the contract was strangling every Guyanese. That can't touch. We have to abide by the sanctity of contract. these evil monsters we have. So two-faced. In one line she's saying, stick with the contract. That cannot change. And at the end of the line, she's saying, improve on yourself. Continue borrowing loan for buying medication. Borrow loans for patch roads. Take some for build that debt trap gas plant at Wales. Take more for buy food and toilet paper. The American banks willing to give y'all. That's what she means. Give me a chance, let me take a deep breath and take a sip of this tea, please. Gosh. Every word that comes out these people's mouths irritates me. You know, Joshua? One friend said to me, Glenn Lal, man, you just come over a little harsh, you know, on the leaders and these diplomats. I tell him, you want me to sugarcoat the truth and throw mal around people them neck? Yes, you want me to sugarcoat the truth and throw mal around their neck, who are deliberately setting the stage to enslave a country and its people with their unborn children too. No, 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 not Glenn Lal.